Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Luxury Redefined, the first off-site episode. In today's episode, we look at luxury hospitality, which is far more than an indulgence. It's a powerful engine of the economy, of culture. It weaves together art, architecture, heritage, design, and performance to craft experiences that shape how we see the world and how the world sees us. In cultural capitals like Dubai, luxury hotels act as living, breathing ambassadors. They not only drive economic growth through tourism, investment, and employment, but also serve as stage sets for identity, aspiration, and creative exchange. In this space, hospitality becomes a narrative. A brand becomes a world. A stay becomes a story. In this episode of Luxury Redefined, we step behind the velvet curtains of one of the most imaginative hotels in the region, the Paramount Hotel Dubai. And to guide us through this world of cinematic opulence is a remarkable guest, Nicholas Chalmers, the hotel's general manager and a seasoned leader in the global luxury space. With distinguished careers spanning iconic properties across the UK, Europe, and the Middle East, Nicholas brings a rare blend of strategic acumen, creative sensibility, and operational excellence. His leadership at Paramount has actually redefined what it means to turn brand storytelling into spatial, emotional, sensory experience. In this conversation, Nicholas shares his insights of the art and discipline of leading luxury hospitality, from nurturing teams to protecting brand identity to creating environments where every touch point is intentional and every guest is a star. So welcome to the episode and let's get started. Nicholas, a warm welcome to Luxury Redefined. It's wonderful to see you again.
Yes.
And thank you so much for dedicating this beautiful suite to our interview and your generosity and warm welcome all of yesterday.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Great to have you here, Dr. Nermeen.
So, Nicholas, I'm excited to hear about your journey until today, your start, and what made you choose this path.
Sure, of course. So, yes, I got into luxury hospitality and hotels really from quite a young age. I was born in London. We moved to Bath in the southwest of England when I was relatively young. And as you may know, that is a city which is very predominantly based around tourism. It's an old Roman spa town and so gets an awful lot of visitors. And so it has a lot of hotels and a lot of restaurants. So as I went through school, I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do. I did a history and international relations degree initially. And then during my holiday times, while I was at university, I was doing work in local hotels. And I really enjoyed it. I loved the experience of working with the team and working with guests and creating experiences. And so decided, okay, this is something that I wanted to progress with. Did a master's in international hotel management at the University of Surrey, and then from there went and started my career originally in Bath again, where I worked in the best luxury hotel in the city for about 3 years, and then up into London with a variety of different hotels and brands, and then overseas to the Middle East in Qatar and now Dubai.
Wow, what a journey. Well, it's quite lucky that you found out quite early on what you want to do, because I find that a lot of students, especially at entry level, are quite confused in what they would like to pursue in terms of career.
No, I think that's true. I think there's an awful lot of uncertainty for many people. Some people have a very clear path and a very clear vision. I guess mine was very much generated out of the experiences that I had. I was lucky enough to travel quite a bit with my parents when I was a child. Both of my parents were medical, but I was never that good at science. I was always much better at the arts subjects and at communication and English and things. And so my path led me to looking after people in buildings who are coming to sleep and eat, very similar to hospitals, but obviously generally want to come to a hotel rather than wanting to go into hospital.
So just out of interest, how many countries have you visited?
Oh gosh, how many I visited? I don't know, probably 30 or 40, I should think, in variety of travels. Again, I traveled a lot in Europe and a little bit further afield when I was based in the UK. And then since being in the Middle East, quite a lot of countries in this region as well. So yeah, I love to travel and explore.
Wow. Well, we'll talk about culture later on, definitely. But I just want to say that must have really raised your awareness in terms of the cultural differences.
Yes, absolutely. And I think working both from my travel, but also from working in London and here, in multicultural, multinational cities, you get exposure very early on to lots of different, cultures, lots of different religions and approaches. And so even when I was working in London, in some of the hotels I was in there was often a lot of Middle Eastern guests. So I actually got to understand the Middle Eastern culture before I came out and worked here. Just from the interaction that I had with guests and others when I was in the UK.
So Nicholas, as a leader, what made the Paramount Hotels stand out for you the most?
It's an interesting story. So I'm now general manager of Paramount Hotel Dubai. But my first role with the Paramount brand was actually as the pre-opening general manager for Paramount Hotel Midtown, our sister property about 10 minutes away on the other side of Business Bay, but also in Dubai. And so when I was approached and asked if I would like to be the general manager or director, as we call it, for that hotel, I went and visited the property. It was still under construction. It hadn't been finished. And I saw the potential of being able to create something special. I obviously had come and visited this hotel, which had already been up and running for 2 to 3 years by that point. So I understood the look and feel that they were looking to try and achieve. And I'm a huge movie buff. I love cinema. I love going to the movies. So Paramount as a brand, and in terms of what the studio had done for the last 110, 113 years now, really resonated with me as well. So. Yes, I loved the property. I loved the brand and the idea of being able to bring Paramount and movie making and a cinematic experience to life for guests. And I saw it very much as a unique experience as well. It's very different from other hotels in the market. It has a unique story, which many of them are not able to emulate or copy. And so to that extent, it was something exciting to take on.
So what does luxury actually mean to you? The word luxury, what does it mean to you?
I think it's an interesting word, and I love that the name of your podcast is Luxury Redefined, because I do think it's a word which can be overused, particularly in the hospitality sector. Very similar to saying 5-star or luxury. It becomes a term which is very loosely applied to many hotels.
Yes.
For me, and I think it has evolved and changed over time. But I think for me, it's about experience. It's about personalization and authentic hospitality, and it's about that connection that you can make with people. Because I think luxury. Naturally, people think 5-star, and I think that's true in many ways. But that's about the product. That's about the look and feel of the hotel, the room that you are staying in, the food and the beverages that you will enjoy when you're eating and drinking in the restaurants and the bars, the experience you will have in the spa or in the gym. All of those experiences, when described as when described as luxury or described as high-end or 5-star, you have a particular perception in mind. For me, that's very much driven by the service and the hospitality that you receive. I can't say that the gym that we have here or the fitness center that we have here is remarkably different from any other fitness center that you may go to in another 5-star hotel. But I would hope and expect that with the training and the type of personality of people that we look for when we are recruiting for the hotel, is that we are looking for people who will deliver a very authentic, a very personalized and a very genuine service level. And I think that has the ability to really elevate an experience for guests. And that for me is where sort of luxury sits.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, it can be all summed up in a personal touch, customization, and attention to detail.
Absolutely, yes, I think so, and I think that authentic piece, that genuine desire to deliver care and hospitality to somebody, and that's, you can train a lot. I think people who truly have a passion about hospitality and have it in their heart and inside them, you can see that in their delivery of the service. It comes naturally to them rather than it being a job.
So the Paramount, what brought the idea to bring this into the hotel space?
So we're very lucky. We operate under license with Paramount Studios. So they have given us their history, their legacy, their DNA, and we have then been able to bring that to life. And really, from a studio perspective, it came from a desire, similarly to what we're looking to do with the hotels, to expand and to be able to give people, bring to life some of that cinematic experience.
Yeah.
You could argue that it's done much more directly, for example, with a theme park or with an amusement park, and with a hotel it's maybe a little bit more subtle, it's a little bit more elegant, I would say, especially for the Paramounts, but it has that ability to connect with people across a whole variety of different genres. And that's what's so beautiful about cinema and movies, is that you may be someone who loves horror, you may be someone who loves action or comedy or science fiction, and Paramount has a huge back catalogue that touches on all of those areas. So when you talk about Paramount to people, nearly always they immediately think of a movie, or they think of a genre, or they think of an actor, or they think of even just a scene. And those kind of pieces we can really pull on and bring to life. So that was really where it came out of, was wanting to be able to bring that piece to life and to do it in a hotel and hospitality environment.
So from a leadership point of view, as a leader, you need to balance creativity while also making sure that operational aspects are running smoothly. How do you manage to balance the two?
Yes, it's interesting. I mean, it's something that I think we touched a little bit earlier on in terms of the recruitment and finding the right people, and that's part of it. So my leadership style is very open. It's very much focused on empowerment of my leadership team. I've always believed and was taught from an early, my first or second roles, and with very experienced general managers, that you will only be as successful as the team around you. And so having a leadership team who I then empower to be successful and to embrace the brand, as well as embracing luxury hospitality, or embracing that level of service that we look to deliver, means that it's a balance between those two. Of course, we want to make sure that the attention to detail is there. We want to make sure that every guest is enjoying the experience of staying in a 5-star hotel in Dubai, exploring the city, but also enjoying the facilities that we have in the hotel. But I also want, as you said, to make sure that we're able to be a little bit different and a little bit more creative. So that comes from really giving the leadership team freedom to say, okay, here's an idea. How would you run with it? How would you bring it to life? And we do that often linked to new releases. So, for example, Mission Impossible has been out recently. It's obviously a Paramount movie. So there are certain things that we can do which are very obvious in the hotel. We can have a standee, we can run the trailer, we can do other things. But we also collaborated with one of the cinema distributors to make sure that we were, people remembered that there was a Paramount Hotel and knew there was a Paramount Hotel. We did a competition related to that so people could come and stay. But we also themed some of our welcome amenities around the movie. We themed a few dishes on our menus around the movie. So things like that. I find that I'm lucky with the team that I have, very fortunate that they love the brand and they love to find new ways to bring it to life. So if I say to them, okay, I can get you a few props or a few things related to a particular movie, or let's try and do something with a particular genre, they're always very keen to then look at ways that they can bring that to life in their own departments or their own restaurants or in the spa or wherever it may be. So
wow.
It's exciting, and it gives them that creative freedom,
yes.
whilst also making sure that we know that we need to deliver it at a certain standard.
Yes, that sounds quite exciting. I mean, who wouldn't? Everybody loves movies, and for management to give you that level of freedom, that's really quite motivating, because then they feel like they matter, they have a say,
and they're much more likely to really commit to it and really want to deliver it. And of course, they then have a team that they need to deliver it with. And they're all very busy. We don't have a quiet time in the hotel. There are always things that they need to be doing. And so this is always an additional layer. But my approach is always, we need to make sure we are delivering our service standards consistently and all of the time. And then being able to add this layer on top of that is both fun and enjoyable for us as a team, but it's also the things that make people and guests want to come back and stay with us and come back and stay with us again.
So in terms of programs like training and development for the staff, do you focus on certain aspects to develop and enhance among your cast?
Yeah, so I would say that our training fall into in probably three main areas. We do a lot of training, certainly initially, but then on a regular basis about the brand and about our brand culture. As you said, we discussed about our brand promise, our vision, our mission, and those are obviously the bedrock and the structure upon which everything else is built. So that starts very much from an onboarding perspective. And then we do that regularly through our weekly DNA trainings, which are trainings which start at a leadership level and are then cascaded down through the rest of the team, where we take a topic. It might be our mission statement, it might be one of our brand pillars, and we deep dive a little bit into it, and we put a training, the rehearsal team puts a training together that we then are able to roll out to everybody else within the team. After that, I would say the second area would be very much departmental trainings, so areas that are specific to your job role or to the department that you are working in. And that obviously will be done, could be done when we're launching something new, it could be done when we're trying to change a menu or we're doing something different, but it'll be very specific to a particular team. And then thirdly, there may be ones which are more detailed around a particular event or a particular trend or thing that we want to make sure that the team are aware of that we're doing differently. So for example, we do some cultural awareness training in preparation for Ramadan. We equally would do cultural awareness training in the lead up to Christmas, because it's not something that everybody has a knowledge of based in this part of the world. And we make sure that the team are aware of what's coming up. We did a DNA training on Mission Impossible so that everybody was able to talk about it knowledgeably and answer questions if guests had questions. So we want to make sure that the team have, again, all of that knowledge to be able to consistently deliver our service levels, but also have and understand that cultural piece which really embeds us with the brand, but then also things which are a little bit more sometimes lighthearted or very topical.
Have you heard of the saying, all the world is a stage? Yes. So I think that fits quite well with the scripted themes, and also the fact that you call all your departments producers.
Correct.
And
yes.
They're actors.
We have our own. We have our own language. So, or we taken the language of filmmaking and brought it into hotels. So, in hotels, you're generally a general manager or a manager or sometimes a director at a particular level. Here, I am a director, and my management or leadership team are producers or executive producers. Our staff are cast. Our uniforms are costumes. We don't have a staff canteen, we have a cast diner. So it's a mixture of those cinematic and filmmaking language, along with our sort of Californian Hollywood heritage, and pulling some words from there. So that lingo, as you said, we don't refer to them as guests, we refer to them as stars, is all part and parcel of making sure that we are really living and breathing our cinematic history in everything that we do.
Have you ever considered providing acting classes?
We do a cast development training. One of the courses that we do shortly after onboarding is what we call cast development, and that is a mixture of making sure that they understand and really have as much knowledge as possible about the Paramount history, because it is a long and varied history from when the studio was first founded, but also in terms of one of our pillars is etiquette, and a lot of that is based around delivery and how to talk to guests, and looking at opportunities to, just bring in those little cinematic and movie making touches. One of the recognition pieces that we do across the hotel on a monthly basis is our best styled cast.
Oh, wow.
That is purely around who do we believe in the last month has really lived and breathed the Paramount look and feel. So that will be a uniformed member of the team. The different departments nominate people, nominate different members of our cast each month, and then we vote and choose who is our best styled cast. And it's great because they're wearing costumes which reflect the movies. So our engineering team wear a jumpsuit from Top Gun, styled around Maverick. Our service hub or telephone operator team are called Mission Possible rather than Mission Impossible.
Amazing.
They wear a black outfit similar to the one that Tom Cruise wore in one of the early Mission Impossible movies. So all of those pieces are all designed to help the cast, really immerse themselves in the role that they are playing, but also to make sure that from a star's perspective, they are seeing and feeling Paramount and movies everywhere that they look.